360 TV proudly presents Messages of Inspirational Stories, broadcasting and live streaming to millions of devices around the world, including Roku, and live streaming to Facebook Live. Also on Amazon Fire TV and to Twitch. Also Android TV and Periscope. Broadcasting to Apple TV and YouTube Live. Proudly brought to you by our host, Donna and producer and host, Michaela Vidal, host and administrator, and Jim Grant, producer and host. Proudly brought to you by the 6minutewebinar.com. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show.
That's awesome. We're both going to do it.
In stereo.
Right. Well, Jim, it's Friday, our last day of the week on this incredible, topic of spending time with family.
Oh, yeah. It's so important.
Nothing more important.
Yes, you're absolutely correct. And earlier in the week, ladies and gentlemen, we shared with you about a good friend of ours, Mr. Preston Martelly. Mm-hmm. He's also known as the Google Geek. He's going to share a lot of great information with you, but also he's going to share with you the year him and his family took off and traveled around the world. And oh my goodness.
With 4 little ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the experiences they had, and just a wonderful experience for the kids. Mm-hmm. My goodness.
Well, and I'm sure for Preston and his wife, because they got to see their children's experiences as the children lived it through their eyes. And that's something that is a memory that's going to last a lifetime. And as the children get older, they get, I'm sure they've talked about it, but they can talk about it more about how they saw each of their children experience at the same place something different.
Absolutely. And we've been talking about how to get your kids involved and how to get them to buy in on the family get-togethers, like a night and playing games or, various things. And you got to be creative.
Right.
And I think it was yesterday, I believe we mentioned something about, doing family trivia, have someone write down the questions and the answers, and let each kid have their own turn about the family trivia, because a lot of families, they don't realize some of the things that their ancestors did or their families did, or the history of the family.
Right.
They really don't. Where
they came from, how they got there, how you got here, by way of just forever. Oh yeah.
And a couple of things I remember about my grandfather, when I was told, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of things like that. I mean, we always hear the good stories about the black sheep in the family. Those seem to just be in abundance. They just pop up everywhere.
Right. I was 30 in my mid 30s when I found out my father quit school. Now, understand, he quit school at 16 and enlisted in the Army. And my father had his doctorate's degree and was tenure at ASU in psychology. And I said, oh my gosh, Dad, I didn't know you did that. I mean, he went later back and got his GED, obviously, and went on to higher education. And I said, why didn't you ever tell me that? And he laughed and he said, really? You think I was going to tell you that when you were young? Not a snowball's chance in hell, woman.
That's really amazing. And ladies and gentlemen, Preston Martelly, we go back a ways, and I'm going to bring him to the stage, and it's just a pleasure for us to have him on the show. And we got to tell a story out of school too. I mean, Preston and I, how you doing, Preston?
Whoa. Take easy on those stories, Jim. I know you know those stories.
Hey, we took a bonfire to a new level.
Oh boy. That was all right. You got to tell that one because that was a really good story. It made a really good steak.
It really was. And first of all, Preston, welcome to the show. Donna and I are so honored to have our good friend with us. Preston.
Yes, thank you
so much. Thank you guys so much for having me on.
And ladies and gentlemen, Preston has been on the show before. Is season 1, episode 5, the Google Geek. Preston gave a lot of great information to save you time on shortcuts and things you did not know about Google. And you can find that show on YouTube, Messages of Inspirational Stories TV show. And if you have any trouble finding anything, all you got to do is just send me an email at inspiration@e360tv. We will make sure that you get it.
Absolutely.
And I got to go. It was Phoenix back in 2019, around October, I think it was November, somewhere in there. And we're all staying at this Airbnb. And so we got the correct idea, the bright idea. We had a nice outdoor gas cooker. And being guys, we run into a little stumbling block, like it didn't have gas, the gauges you couldn't read, piece of cake. We got this in our hip pocket. And Don's wife, Sylvia McGrath, is there, and she's a gourmet cook. So she made this beautiful salmon patties, okay? Make a mental note of that. And so Preston and I out there, we're trying to push a chain uphill to get this thing going. And we put batteries in there for the electric start. And I don't even remember if that worked or not. But anyway, we got this thing going. When I say we got it going, we got it going.
Got it going.
So we get the fire going, and we got the meat on there, and everything's looking nice. We close it down. Now we're going to go inside the house. And I look out there, and I'm an old country boy. And that thing is starting to smoke. Like we're burning garbage in a 55-gallon drum. And I'm thinking, that don't look right. And I said something to Preston. You remember that, Preston? What did I say to you?
I think we need to go check that fire.
Yeah. Preston, no, that's okay. I'm looking at it. I don't know, So I go out the door, and about the time I get to the barbecue to lift up the big lid, Preston's coming out the door, and all of a sudden, whoo, flames above my head.
Oh my goodness.
It was literally like 5 feet tall of flames with the food inside of that barbecue.
Yeah, all this meat that we had prepared and all that. And now remember, we got a gourmet cook. She spent hours preparing her salmon patties, and they're right in the middle of the flame.
Wrapped in foil.
Yep. And so we're out there grabbing stuff, getting stuff off the grill into the pan to get the fire to calm down. And Dr. Sony Jackson walks out, and she looks at us with her hands on her hip. She cocks her head and says, "You guys all right?" "Oh, yeah, we got this. No problem."
Nice.
And I'm lying like a dog, ladies and gentlemen. But what else could I say?
Right. It's a guy thing.
Yeah. Call 911. Pray for rain. We're in Phoenix. But ironically, all of the pieces of meat that came off of that grill that night, my goodness gracious, it was absolutely delicious. Everybody, Bill Heinrich says that's one of the best steaks I've ever had.
Nice.
And
I've tried to replicate that. Never been able to do it again.
Yeah, I was just going to tell you folks, if you want to have a nice bonfire barbecue, be sure and get in touch with Preston. Let me put his website up there, because he led me through the darkness into the flame of light.
Nice.
But I've told people about that many times, and I've laughed about it because it is hilarious. It really is.
It's crazy, and it tasted so good. I think something about the crazy flames and all that kind of just sealed that steak perfectly.
Yeah.
And it was wow.
Either that or the good Lord looked down and says, "Oh my goodness, these boys need some help."
Right.
Yeah. And I think Preston actually had a priest sneak in there and bless the food after it was all flaming and all. And I think that was the secret ingredient. I don't know, but it could have been. It wouldn't have surprised me.
Came in and did the blessing.
Oh yeah. And we stayed up there at the Airbnb there in January of 2019 in Colorado Springs. That was a beautiful place, wasn't it?
Beautiful, beautiful view. I can never forget that.
Oh yeah, and the deer. Remember we first got there? We go, hey, we got deer out here, and the deer are looking like, who are you?
Who are you guys? I'm used to being here. What are you guys acting all strange for?
Yeah. And deer talks saying, hey guys, we got some weirdos in the house there.
Oh boy, it's some more out of staters.
Mm-hmm.
Donna, it was so beautiful. We were literally on top of a mountain, like looking down at the entire city. And it was like, it was mild at the bottom, but we were so high up, there was like snow peaks everywhere. It was it was breathtaking. We would get up at like the crack of dawn to watch the sun rise and experience that. It was wow.
And the day room had a big glass roof that curved down like this. It's all glass. You sit there on a couch, just drink coffee. And I mean, it was just as sweet could be. Oh,
that sounds gorgeous. My kind of day for a nice cup of coffee or hot tea and a book.
Ooh,
we'll have to do it again. We'll have to do it again.
Oh, yeah. We certainly will. We certainly will, my man. But, we were really inspired to share with the audience, Donna and I was, about your trip around the world. And Donna, I'd just like to ask Preston, how did this idea even come up? So I'm going to let him start right there.
Absolutely, because that was one of the things of experiences with children. And that's what led us to you, Preston, and that, you are able to live a laptop lifestyle. And that was part of being able to do this trip.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a blessing. And I always say now, looking in retrospect, it was preparing me for the COVID times, right? When we're all together, like huddled together as a family, because the whole world had to eventually do that. And right now, the whole world has been forced to live a laptop lifestyle by force. Right. So I think I was just lucky that I was able to fall into that ahead of time. But to your question, that was a pretty life-changing experience. It was it seemed like a simple goal, but now you look back at it, like most things do, before you look into it, it seemed like a pretty lavish goal to get to, right? Which is to, take a year off, right? I remember at the time, my wife and I, we both love travel. We've been watching travel shows for years, right? Ever since we were, first married, before we had kids, and we'd look at these people online traveling, we'd say, we'd love to visit that place one day, or we'd love to do so, right? And situations happen in life when you have an idea planted in your brain that you want to accomplish. Sometimes things start falling into alignment without you realizing it.
Right.
So that year before I actually took off was one of the decisions was like, life is, I started running an agency and life is getting really busy and I needed to kind of, slow down and take control back of things. Right. And it wasn't until, school was about to close off and, my wife and I said, we're looking at everything we have. We're working online. Our customers are all remote. Maybe it's a chance for us to do that. And we had this, we came up with this idea of, we love traveling. We said, what if we took the kids on a year of world education, right? So we kind of take them out of school for a year. We'd homeschool them and we'll teach them through experiences, through traveling the world. We're not teachers, but I'm sure we can teach them a lot by experiencing it. And we pretty much, we packed our suitcases. We had a vague idea of what we were doing. But we're going to go to China, then we're going to go to Bali, then we're going to go to Australia and kind of move our way through that way. Well, let me tell you, we went to China. We enjoyed it. We got to Bali. We fell in love, right? We were supposed to be in Bali, I think initially for 3 weeks. We ended up extending the stay. And then we went, I think, all the way to like a full 90-day time because we had to actually leave Bali and come back for it. And from that time, our itinerary was completely wiped. We didn't have a flight to go to the next place. We didn't know where we were going. So it was pretty much like we were living by the moment. And the fear, the anxiety that created at first, but it just made it so much more exhilarating that we would just, enjoy a place to the fullest. And we didn't move till we were ready to move. Right. Right. And it was an experience. It was great seeing the kids. We were sometimes looking at what we had, back home. We have a full home full of things and all this stuff. And all they really wanted was to have myself, my wife, a couple sand toys. They were happiest than ever.
Right.
No video games, no gadgets, no YouTube, nothing. Just us.
Downtime.
Yes.
Decompression, downtime. Now, before you go on, so everyone knows, how old were your children at that time?
My eldest was 10, and we got 4, and they were all 2 years apart. So we had a 10, an 8, and a no, actually younger than that. They were all under 9 at the time. Yeah, all under 9. So yeah, so we had a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, no, a 9-year-old, a 7-year-old, a 6, and a 5.
Wow.
Yeah, and we took off. We went, and it was cool. The ironic thing about how you realize, what really matters, and that was really life changing, was, we left with 6 suitcases, right? For a family of 6. Guess how many we came back with? 2.
It's either 2. Yeah.
2 suitcases.
So what were your children's favorite things about this incredible journey that you and your wife were able to take them on?
I can tell you I'll tell you that, but I'll answer one thing first. One thing they didn't like was the travel days. They didn't like the getting on the plane and packing and all that stuff, right? But they did absolutely love just the freedom, I think, of going to the beach. They knew that they had to get their schoolwork done. So we had that kind of reward where we would spend a couple hours in the morning to get their schoolwork done. It would normally take no more than about 3 hours to get what was done for the day. And then we'd have the afternoon where we just go, chill out, go to the beach, hang out for a couple hours. Then, our big mission for the day, my wife and I will say, is like, where are we going to eat today?
Right.
Where are we going to eat? Because, living in Airbnbs, a lot of time is spent eating out at, local places, and we enjoy the local food. Right. I think they definitely love the beach. They love the beaches a lot. They love the ability to explore new places as well.
The beautiful weather and all that, and the beautiful scenery. And you said it take about 2 to 3 hours to complete the homeschooling. Process.
We were surprised. We thought that it would be like a full day when we left. But and actually one of the teachers coaches that is like, it's a full day because they're teaching like 21 kids. But if you kind of one-on-one with the kids, it takes a lot less time. And so we got a lot of stuff done. And we were done technically the whole curriculum by January of the year. Right. But we still kept it going so we could keep a routine. But it was amazing. And it was, what's cool was when we were in KL at the time. Not KL, we were in Penang, which is a part of Indonesia. The kids were studying Malaysia in school. So we had set up a Skype call where my daughter was actually able to talk back to her friends in school and talk to them about her experience living in Malaysia, where they were studying Malaysia in school.
Oh, how awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we became part of an experiment.
Oh, I love that. What a incredible value for your children. Now, I have to ask, I'm curious, because your children were so young, and we know that, we're not able to retain that kind of memory space from a small age when we're real little. Do y'all have plans to do it again when they get a little bit older?
Definitely. Well, one of the things we said, we were planning to actually continue another year while we travel, but circumstances made things a little bit different. But we said, as soon as they're done, out of the house and off to university, my wife and I are going again. We said we're going to go again. Every single one of them said, we're coming along.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Okay.
You tried to pull the fast one, get the kids out of there. So for you and Mama, and this is no. We don't have any of that. We're coming too.
We're coming too.
I love it. I love that. That is awesome. Because that goes with what we were talking about, Preston. That's so beautiful, is that spending time with your family. So your children, you all still talk about this. They have memories of it. But oh my gosh, think about what an incredible impact you made on their lives for life. And that bond will always be there. And now, as much as y'all are trying to push them away, they're like, talk to the hand, because it ain't going to happen.
We're coming along. Yeah. And I think the funny thing that we taught them from that is the importance of, it's not just about buying things and having stuff. It's really about life's really about experiences, right? And
Yes.
controlling your destiny. So doing something that allows you, even when they get older, to do something that allows them to do what they love to do. They love to travel. There are lots of opportunities now that work online that you can do that. You can travel, experience the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that lifestyle, laptop lifestyle, you got me tongue-tied on that now, Donna. That really does, especially with the World Wide Web and access to Wi-Fi and all. I imagine in some areas that was a little limited, but you were still able to get things done, weren't you?
Yeah, everywhere we went. That's one of the things I would always check before we went to a new city. We would go back and check and see what the Wi-Fi situation was over there and what the would I be able to stay connected, right? Because that was very important.
Mm-hmm.
And they have these cool little wireless routers that are available in Asia that you just put in a SIM card like you would in a normal cell phone.
Right,
and then
right.
you can have Wi-Fi like you would in your house. So I could literally take that with me, go to the beach, and then sit there and get work done.
Holy smokes!
Yes.
And what's the upload and download speed of something like that? Was it very fast?
It was faster than what I had when I at the time here in Canada, which was about 45 MBs.
Whoa!
Yeah, pretty fast. Yeah, because a lot of these parts of the world, most people that's all they use. They just use mobile, right? So they need fast Wi-Fi connections.
Yeah,
and it worked out to my advantage.
Yeah. And I want to ask you about this big, long email and this ticker tape.
URL. Oh, yes, that's a long one. It might be better in the chats, but this is one of the things that I've done ever since I came back is really I'm focused on, really trying to give back and live a life of abundance where I can share abundantly the knowledge and the experience that I have with other people. And one of the things that I started just about a year ago was a Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern time. It's called Ask Me Anything. So the intention is if you got a question about digital marketing or you get stuck on Facebook or do something like that, you can come on that call and ask me, right? And within that hour, I'll try and answer as many of these questions as possible. What we have done for the last quarter of this year was I've taken the top 12 sessions that I've done and I've made them into masterclasses, right? So you can sign up at that link. It's free. There's no obligation to come. And if you have a question, you can still ask me whatever questions you have, but I'll always reserve a bit of time in there to go over and explain a particular type of digital marketing so that you can learn in an environment of other entrepreneurs like yourself or other business owners.
Okay. And for you folks out there, it's like me that maybe needs a shorter, just get in touch with Preston at his email address, preston@javalogics.ca. That C is in Charlie, A is in Alpha. That's in Canada. And just say, hey, I want to attend your event, and he'll be sure and hook you up. And I'll tell you right now, the Google Geek, I refer to him as that. You earned that title out in Phoenix, and I'm trying to think that Donna's got some technical difficulty. She'll be right back. She's got to go down to the ATM, ladies, and get some more quarters to put in the machine, so she'll be right back. But we were there in Phoenix, and you were showing us at that event, how all the things that, you can do, shortcuts on Google. And that's where you earned the title, the Google Geek, wasn't it?
Yes.
I think. Yeah, it sure was. And so, ladies and gentlemen, please.
I gave you a shorter version of the link. If you want to put that one in instead, that might be easier to remember.
Okay.
It's a direct link to the event.
To the event. Okay. Well, let me do that too. And I'm very talented here as soon as I get my pointer and my clicker are working here. But it's really that one right there. Okay. Let me give you a shorter link here. But it's really important to be able to get good answers from people that are really knowledgeable. And Preston is definitely that. I'm doing two things at once. I'm trying to think, talk, and type.
No problem. I'll just kind of maybe I can fill folks in. Is like there are lots of things that you hear about in terms of terminology of how to build an online brand. And that's what I want to do. I want to tell you, first off, what is digital marketing and how does it fit into your business? That's what the first session is going to be about. Just very, very basic, making sure everybody's on a solid foundation. And then we're going to go over, the basics, like, defining your core offer, defining your ideal customer, right? And so forth to help you make the right decisions in your business to grow your brand the way that you wanted to.
Yeah, because early on, I remember, Preston, I think you were there when I talked about we're going to have people come into the Speakers Pathway Coalition that Donna and I originally created. And we're going to have people coming in there that don't really know what they're doing. Their brand may be off. They don't have a clue how to market.
Right.
Not a foggy clue other than yeah.
Yeah.
And, Preston, you've done a lot in helping people create their brand, get their brand recognized, market. And folks, let's be honest. Everybody wants an ROI, return on investment. But in today's market, take a lesson from your cell phones and your computers. How many 15-second commercials do you see or ads? You see a lot of them.
Yeah.
And that's because the big boys know how important it is to keep their brand fresh in front of the customers.
Brand awareness.
Yes, exactly. And I think you might remember me talking about Wells Fargo. They showed a guy sitting on a plane. This is all within 30 seconds. Showed a guy sitting on a plane. He gets a text from his wife. Did you deposit that check? And he's going like, no, I didn't. So he's like any real man. He don't want to do hard time in the hacienda. So he's going to take care of business. And so the stewardess is starting to come down the aisle very slowly, making sure everybody's got the trays up, seat belts on, phones put away. And he's taking a picture of the check and he's, send it to the bank and all that stuff. And so he's not doing anything any different than any other bank that would. But in the end, it says, of course, time the stewardess gets to him, he's and all that. And there she is. And the comment is from Wells Fargo. It says, wellsfargo.com/your bank. That was the message they wanted you to think, is that Wells Fargo is your bank. When you see a Wells Fargo sign, your bank, they want to come to your mind. That's what brand awareness is about.
Yeah.
And Preston, you're very sharp on that. And I salute you on that, my man, because you've taught me a lot about that. And I wanted to share that with the good folks out there because Preston, you got that class there. That's javalogics.ca/AMA-Masterclass. Ooh, we're not talking about
.ca. Yes.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
Amazing. Sir. That is awesome. Donna, so happy to have you back.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. And then, so we pretty much, all I did was I shared, and I'd love to see more people. I'd love to see, I think we can be allowed to have 100 people live and unlimited replays. So anybody who signs up for the event, if you can't attend it because it's too early, just sign up, and then you can get access to the replays and see so you don't miss out. But it's really important. Anybody who's starting a business or in business and struggling with their marketing, this is a 12-week session that should change your business. Change your business. I've done it dozens of times, hundreds of times right now, if I think about it, but dozens of times that I've impacted one-on-one with people, help them grow their brand. And now I want to share it with as many people as possible. Right. You don't have to worry, because every session I'm going to give you an opportunity to go out and implement what I'm teaching you, but we're going to offer a done for you solution. So even if you come out, you know what you need to do, but you say, I don't want to do it. Well, that's when we come into play. And that's what we offer as a done for you.
Yes. We do the same thing here at the 6-minute webinar, because a lot of people say, yes, I need it, but I don't have the time, or I'm not real sure how to put it together. I want something that works. If you're in that situation, get in touch with Preston. He's your man, because I will personally vouch for him. Donna and I know him. He's a personal friend of ours, and we only vouch
with Preston.
That's right. That's right, girl. And you preach it, and I'll pass the collection plate. How about that?
I will, but I'll drop the tip jar over there.
Yeah. But most importantly, Donna and I, we have a rule here. We only endorse people or products that we know and believe in. And that's extremely important for all of us. And that's the standard we have. And you should have that high standard too. I got to tell people, what's your DNA? What's your destiny in life? How do you want your name to be known as? And to be able to accomplish all that, who would you want to be associated with? When it comes to brand recognition and marketing, Preston Martelly, ladies and gentlemen. Mr., as I call him, Preston Martelly.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. It's been amazing.
I got to ask you one more question, and I've been curious about this. About your kids when you traveled around the world and all that, what was some of the things or one thing that you saw in your eyes that your kids did for someone else that just really blessed your heart and pleased you?
One thing that my kids did with someone else?
Mm-hmm. Or you saw them interact with someone else,
Oh my gosh. It was this morning. It was one morning it was in Bali. We were staying in a villa, and they had about, 5 or 6 of these people that would, come in and cook and clean and everything for us. Mm-hmm. And my wife and I got up a little later, and we hearing all the people that were working, dying of laughter, right? Pulling up, they were cleaning up the weeds and so forth. I was like, what are they laughing at? And I get out there, and they all stoop down, picking up the weeds and so forth. And my youngest daughter, was telling them stories and jokes and had them laughing hysterically out there. And it was funny because these are people in a completely different culture, and they're out there, and she's in the ground doing the same kind of thing with them. And they were just having such a good time. And I know that will stay with her for a very long time, because I know they had some good enjoyments. And that was very memorable to me to see them interact with people from, all over the world. And we're all the same.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's going to be, it's an experience of a lifetime for young kids. And I love the fact that you guys left with how many suitcases and you only came home with 2? Did you lose any baggage, or what happened there?
We gave stuff away. We realized there's so much stuff that we didn't really need. The kids had lots of toys that we weren't using anymore. We had left with books. We had left with so much clothes. I mean, when you're traveling, especially in a warm climate, you don't need like 5 pairs of pants. Right. And first off, we'd have to get laundry done. So we'd have like maybe 2 pairs of swim shorts, maybe 2 or 3 T-shirts, and that's all you need. Right. And I didn't need like 5 pairs. My wife didn't need like 5 or 6 pairs of shoes. I said I switched that from my I didn't need to my wife didn't need real fast. But that's what we noticed. We didn't need as much stuff as we thought we did. And it was better just the people that we gave them to really appreciated it. Right.
Oh, yeah. Because the joy of.
Yeah.
Because the joy of giving, the jubilee that brings to you, it's just amazing. And that's why Preston enjoys doing this masterclass. And you go there, you sign up, and it's free. You can ask him anything. The joy and jubilee of giving, that just blesses so many people. And most importantly, down the road, you're going to be super blessed because you invested in others. And that's what I love about Preston's story and his family, the wife and kids going around the world and not even missing a beat. Not even missing a beat. Were the kids ever homesick?
Nope. They actually travel sick right now. They want to keep going again. If COVID hadn't hit, I think it would have been hard to keep them inside.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
They travel sick. I just thought of something else I could share with your audience.
Sure.
In there, I wanted to give a free gift. So if anybody out there is stuck in their business and they want to get a snapshot of really how their business is doing overall, click on that. That's a brand audit. And then they can just go through, let me know a little bit about what your brand is, what you want to offer, who your competitors are. And I can tell you exactly what's broken in your business right now and give you a roadmap on what you need to do to fix it.
Okay, I'm making the banner right now, the marquee. Preston's complimentary gift.
A complimentary brand audit to anybody out there who has a brand, whether it's a personal brand or it's a local brand, and you want to know what you need to do to be like your top competitors, or find out how are they getting traffic? How are they getting an audience? I'll reverse engineer what they're doing, their success, and hook you up.
Did I get that in there correctly, sir?
It is the voice brand audit one.
That's what I got in there was the Java Logix AMA. That's the masterclass, ain't it?
That's the masterclass one. There's another one right after that is and it's actually fun. This is This is a funnel. It's a voice form. I don't know if I think you guys are going to see this for the first time where you it's a form, but you don't type it. You just press on your phone and you leave me a voice memo.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's okay. Okay, I got it here. Mm-hmm. There we go. I copied the wrong one there, my man. I apologize for that.
No problem.
Like Donna says, good help's hard to find.
If I can say something real quick, one of the things I love about Preston, and I've worked with him, is his honesty, okay, and his integrity. So we've talked about this on the show. That is absolutely paramount in my life and in my world. And if you do not fall in that integrity space, then I really don't want to be associated with you. It's just as simple as that.
Exactly.
And Preston knows his business, but his integrity and his energy is in such a way that he's, even if you have something in your business and it's not working, he will tell you, but he does it in such a beautiful way that, I mean, he's done it with me. He's like, do you really think that makes sense? I mean, he doesn't put you down though. Yeah. He kind of makes you see it for what it is and laughs with you, but makes you understand there is a better way. So folks, understand that is huge and that is important, because the last thing you need is to work with anybody who makes you feel stupid or makes you feel like you know nothing and you're down here and you just completely shut down. Oh,
yeah, because those guys are a dime a dozen, because I found at least 24 of them.
Donna, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. And, it's just, it's experience. Like we all say, like, Jim and I talk, we laughed about it in the past. We said, we've done it wrong enough for long enough.
Yeah, there you go.
Business, there's only one way to success is you've got to be genuine. You got to be honest, because if not, that stuff catches up with you.
Oh, right. Yeah,
right? You're not going to be right all the time, but if you do it with the right heart in the right place, you're ahead of the game.
Yeah, right. And ladies and gentlemen, Preston's our kind of people, because he likes to treat people the way he'd like to be treated if he was in their shoes, and he looks at you from an understanding position where, hey, I've been there, I know what it's like, and I don't want you to struggle, because I'm going to help you get from where you are to where you want to be.
Yep.
And that's who he is. And we're just so honored to have him here as a friend, number one. Number two, the story about him and his family going around the world. And so Donna, next time you go around the world, how many suitcases you plan on leaving with? 5 or 10 or 20?
Yeah, I'm a pretty light packer in general. I'm not your normal girly girl. So I would probably take 2 though.
2?
Yeah, just 2. Depending on where I was going. If it's in cold country, I'd probably take about 20.
There you go.
It's a different thing.
Yeah, that's what you call intelligence there. You don't want to freeze to death up there.
Right.
But you've got it, Don. I highly encourage, if you get a chance to get a trip, head over to, Southeast Asia, Indonesia. All these places are so beautiful. The people are so nice, and there's so much to learn, right? About yourself.
Absolutely.
And before I want to make sure we get this in there. Preston's website is javalogics.ca.
Yes.
And he came by the name Java Logics because he was in the coffee business, weren't you? There, had a little coffee. Yeah.
Yeah. Before I went into digital world, so that's what I say. I like a lot of my customers. Like, I did run a brick and mortar business, and I did run a pretty tough one. I was in the food and beverage industry. So back then I was making my millions $1 at a time, right? A long way to make it to $1 million. But I love coffee. So if you ever get me good espresso machine, I'll whip you up a nice latte.
Yeah, I tell you, it's that reminds me, we got some good friends of ours who we like to talk about their coffee. They're up there in Canada.
Yeah.
Mocha Bun. Yeah. They're going to be doing some things with me and Donna. They want to do a marketing partnership with us, and we're going to work with them. And their coffee is gourmet coffee. It is smooth. It doesn't have any acidy taste. Right. Donna made a great suggestion, because the little packages it comes in, they make great Christmas gifts, especially the coffee lovers. You can't go wrong with giving a coffee lover coffee.
Teacher gifts. Teacher gifts are big.
And their coffee is out of Yemen.
Okay.
It's grown in
Yeah.
Yemen.
Yeah.
It sure is, and they're just wonderful young people to work with, and we're honored to have them here. And so Java Lovics, that just rang a bell there. See, we got us almost everything in common there. We all love coffee. And again, your master class, I want you to share a little bit more about that, please, sir.
Yes. So join me Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern time. All the calls are going to be recorded. Well, if technology works as it should, the calls will be recorded. So you can, even if you can't make it in the morning, definitely listen to the replay. Once you watch one replay, two replays, you're going to want to be there for the live class, because we're going to have the ability to ask questions. You can put in the chat bot. I can bring you on live. Depending on the turnout, the size of the turnout, I might be able to take one person's business and do that, right on the screen, like do a full brand audit and show them, hey, these are all the things that we can fix in your business very easily. Let's get it forward for you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I got to ask Preston this. If you were going to put a price on that, I mean, what would that be worth to someone to sit down with you 101 and you to go through that? And I mean, because you're talking a lot of time, a lot of effort. And I mean, that's got to, some people probably charge you $3,000 or $4,000,
Well, we do have actually the paid version of that that I did for quite some time, and it's $500 a month, right? And you have 1 hour once a week with me, where you come in and you get coaching one-on-one with me. And I did that to me, that's like a rock bottom price, because I wanted to make it accessible to people.
Yes.
Right? I could definitely a lot of people say, why didn't you charge more? Well, the thing is, I have capacity, so there are a few people I can take on, but I don't want it to be something that's, for the right person. I don't want to be something that they can't afford. $500, who you are, if you're in business and you're driven, you can find $500 a month for 4 or 5 months to make it happen. Had I said 2,000, might be a little bit more of a struggle. But I wanted to be able to help people the right way.
Right.
Because that type of training, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, it starts running into the thousands of dollars in a hurry. It
Very
really
easily.
does.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm giving it for free.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So,
and also you got your complimentary brand audit, and that people can go to, and just share a little more information about that, sir.
Yeah. So the brand audit, I think it's about 4 questions. So it should take you more than a minute. And it's kind of cool because it's voice answers. So there are a few questions that'll pop up on the screen, and it'll ask, who are your top 3 competitors? And you press a little speaker in the middle, and then you can talk into it and tell me who your top competitors are. I'll ask you what products or service you offer. You'll, again, tell me what it is. And then once I have that information, about 3 or 5 questions I'm going to ask you, I will get that information. I'll do a brand audit for you. I'll go analyze your brand. I'll look at your top competitors, and I'll tell you exactly how they're getting traffic. Is it coming from social media? Is it coming from paid ads? How much are they spending on paid ads? What keywords are getting people so you can put out that same content, right? Once you have that plan, just think about it, right? It's so much easier to get somewhere if you had a roadmap. Most people don't even know what to do. They're advertising, they're doing all kinds of stuff, right? The average person who starts a business, they start looking at these videos online, and I feel so sorry when I get them, because they're told to post on social media. They're told to be on TikTok. They're told that they need to be doing SEO. They need to be doing paid ads. They need to be, and by the time they're like, oh my gosh, how does anybody get the time to do that?
Well, and everything changes so quick.
Yeah.
And exactly.
Yeah.
You come in, you get trained on what to do today, and then 3 months later, the whole new platform is different. Right. So what I'm doing is I'm going to show you how to create a process, and listen to this. This is what every business owner needs to know. The number one secret to making money online is you need to get your ideal customer to know, like, and trust you.
Amen.
That's it. Your customers know, like, and trust you. So where does social media, all these things come in? That's the ability to create awareness, right? So they know you. They know what you're doing. They like you by consuming your content. You're giving value, right? And then when they trust you, because they trust you're knowledgeable about what you're doing, then they're going to open up their wallet, right? So you always hear about the know, like, trust. I added the A at the end of it, which is they need to adore you. So you need to deliver on what you promised so that they adore you and they start referring you to their friends and family. Then your marketing becomes full circle.
Oh, yeah. You know,
right?
ladies and gentlemen, I've seen a lot of things where, but can you imagine, Donna, can you imagine someone has been hit with so much about you got to do this, you got to do that, but the time they get to Preston, they're just kind of like, I'm punch drunk. And
Right.
Preston say, no problem. All you got to do is just answer three little questions, and I will tell you how your competitors are doing and what they're doing where. Oh my gosh. I
Well,
mean,
also because we all can't be good at everything.
amen.
Absolutely.
So, for me, that whole realm of what you do is just out of my wheel well,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It just, it's
Most
not
people.
what I'm good at.
Yeah.
And the one thing I've learned in my years of business is concentrate really well on what you are good at.
Just
The
one thing.
ones that you aren't good at, either have a VA, have somebody else do it, or go to somebody like Preston. And especially if you're starting out and your budget is tight, go to Preston, go to his masterclass, go to his audit and learn so it doesn't make you crazy.
Yeah.
For
Because a
sure.
lot of people are just lost. And,
Right.
next week we're going to be talking about, it's not a New Year's resolution you need. What you need is a New Year's, say it, Donna,
Revolution.
revolution, right? Because
Revolution, baby.
people are getting sick and tired of the doom and the gloom. If you look at the
Mhm.
history of the world, every single time there's been a plague, some epidemic, whatever it might be, a war, whatever, people will say, I'm tired of the death. I'm tired of the doom. I'm tired of the gloom. I want to live life. I want to love life, and I want to enjoy abundance. 2022 is that year. So right now, you need to prepare to get your business in order for the spring harvest. And I highly recommend you to get in touch with Preston because, man, that answering three questions and he'll do the work and give you a complimentary audit on how your competitors are doing what they're doing. And if you're like me and you want to keep something simple to get in touch with Preston at javalogics.ca. That's
Yep.
as simple as it gets. Old dumb farm boy like me can remember that. So I got confidence in my buddies out there, especially you, Einstein. I got my eye on you, buddy.
Well, and this is part of I love this because it's a great segue into next week's
Yes.
TV show about closing 2021, excuse me, on a positive note. So this is your opportunity to utilize this incredible gift that Preston is giving to close out your 2021 positively, to go into your 2022 and make it yours, own it, and make it the revolution that you want it to be.
You bet. And be sure and tune into the masterclass there. And like I say, if you're kind of confused, okay, now what's the email address here? Keep it simple. Just go to Preston at javalogics.ca.
Or scan this.
Scan that, huh? There you go.
Boom.
Oh my goodness, that's cool. Yeah, because we know what Preston's about. We know what he brings to the party. And my goodness gracious, and going around living the laptop lifestyle career around the world, traveling with his kids. That is the icing on the cake for us to wrap up this week on spending time with family. It's amazing because, you get your kids, in agreement with what you're doing and you ask them questions and they buy in. It makes things a lot easier because when I was growing up, when Dad said something, that was the way it was, whether you liked it or not. And I think it was on Wednesday's show I shared, and I was going to share this with Preston. We were going down to our aunt's house on a Sunday afternoon in the summertime, and it was hot in the car. All us kids in there. It's 5 kids and mom and dad, And we only had the 455 air conditioning in those days, which is 4 windows down, 55 mile an hour. And we're all complaining because we really didn't enjoy going down there, to be honest, because we couldn't do too much. And if we broke something, Lord, we might be missing a body on the way home, because she was that way. And not she wouldn't hit us, but parents would. but she was real stickler about her things. And we're complaining, and Dad finally had enough of it because it's hot in the car. He's sweating. Everybody's sweating. He's had it. He slams on the brakes. Of course, we didn't have no seat belts. We didn't even know what they were back in those days. All of us kids go flying in the floorboard, and he stopped. He turned around. He says, "You're going to sit down. You're going to shut up. We're going to go down there, and we're going to enjoy ourselves whether you like it or not. So shut up." That was the way that Dad got us to buy into his way of thinking.
Right.
And we're shared something this week during the week of how to get kids to buy in on, to be a active part of. And Donna, we talked a little bit about, how you can get up, make family trivia questions and answers, and then let the different kids ask the question and all of that. And it's a learning process for all of them. And some of the games, board games and things like that we played, Mike, or, recommended, that's a great way. But get kids to buy in on what it is that you want to do, because family unity, that's what Preston and his wife's about, their kids. Man, they're a beautiful family. And it's just a wonderful privilege to be able to see a young man and his young wife, his beautiful bride, have 4 well-behaved children and have them to be just a great, happy family. Because I know they are. Because I've seen your daughters, they come up, you'd be there on, doing something, and they come around, and, it's, and if they came on right now on TV, that's what we're about. We're family.
They're at school right now, but I'm sure if we go a little later, they'll be in here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you got to tell them you got a chance to be on Uncle Jim's show there, but they missed it.
All right,
but,
there we go. We have to set that up.
Yeah. We got about 4 or 5 minutes left, and I just want to ask Donna and Preston if there's anything else they'd like to share, because I want you to make sure that you share as much information as you can with the audience today.
Yeah, Donna, if you don't mind, I'd love to go first, and really
please
commend you guys on this amazing show that you guys have been doing. I think a lot of it started off with the message of inspiration, Jim, and I know you're sharing this important message out to people and helping people not only get their messages out, but letting it fall in the right ears, right? So I want to really say thank you guys for doing this. Thank you so much for having people myself on the show. And I know on behalf of all the people listening to this out there, thank you, because these are amazing messages, and your platform and what you guys are putting out to help communicate that stuff is very much appreciated.
Well, thank you, sir. It's our honor to have a caliber person like you on the show with us, Preston, because it's all about infotainment. It's not what we want to say, it's what the people out there want to hear. And I had to share the bonfire story with them from Phoenix, because in the case, if you want to make some real good, delicious steaks and you don't know how high the flame should be, get in touch with Preston. Just, I think he's got. I
gotta say, I've tried it again. I've tried dumping gas in with that. I think you had more to do with it than you gave yourself credit for.
You see, what I do, I bring the bad luck. So that's what you're missing. Either that or the dumb luck, one of the two. I'm kind of dumb.
My goodness.
That was so funny, because everything we tried, we had another hurdle we had to solve, and had to run down with the guy to get the gas and, the propane for the thing. And then we couldn't figure out which was on or off with all the gauges and everything. And we put batteries in it for a spark. I think we actually lit it with a flamer. The spark actually lit, I don't remember now, but we were not going to give up.
We needed a camera on site.
We had our pride and dignity on the line, and we came through like real troopers.
No, that's not true. Y'all just didn't want your man card taken away from you.
Who told you? Yeah. I thought that was our secret. How'd you know about that man card? Oh my goodness. I tell you, the reason why we love doing this show so much is because it's so much fun for us, but most importantly, for all you good folks around the world that watch us on other platforms like Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, what Apple products, whatever,
Twitch.
Yes. Periscope. I mean, thank you so much. And, us being live on YouTube Live and Facebook. And we're just so honored that you take your time to listen to our show. Absolutely. Because just in the month of July, our audience grew by 15%. And we're very grateful and honored to have that, to earn that from you.
Mhm.
And I just talked to Aaron Hymas, president of E360 yesterday, and he says we're still ticking up. And I thought, well, I know who that belongs to. It's all Donna's fault. I had nothing to do with it.
Okay, I'll take the blame for that one.
There
I'll
you
take
go.
one for the team.
There you go. She's a real trooper. Yeah. But Donna, I just tell you right now, and like this show here is going to be a great show too, because of what Preston brought to the party. But Donna and Preston, thank you so much. It's my honor to be here in the presence of both of you today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Jim, we are out of time, and I know we're out of quarters.
That's right. I ain't got any more quarters. I got to get out of the ATM again because I don't say I'm broke. I just say I'm financially embarrassed. But we'll be back on Monday, and we look forward to having you join us. And most importantly, as I always like to close a show with, and be sure and love yourself first, then you can love others. Be sure and forgive yourself for things that you've done in the past or said. Don't carry that around. Let it go. And tune into the love and abundance of the universe. And if it's your birthday, I hadn't said this in a while, but if it's your birthday, happy birthday to you. And just remember that I voted on this, and I was unanimous in this vote that all birthday cake sweets that you love, they are health food on your birthday.
Right?
So be good to yourself, treat yourself, and most importantly, please be back with us on Monday. We'll see you then.
Absolutely. Have a
a great
safe weekend, everyone.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Preston.
Bye.
Appreciate you,
Bye
brother.
bye. Thank you. Appreciate you guys.